na naman. So boring.
Classic! Highlighter before. It's so short. Did you see the before? I don't care. Good afternoon, class. My name is Professor Alysa Lee, and today we are going to discuss Zarzuela as a form of Filipino theater. Does anybody know what Zarzuela is? Yes, Patricia.
Zarzuela is one of the new, or the first forms of national theater.
Very good. That's wonderful. Who else?
I'm so sorry. I'm right.
Miss Taniyama, you should not be late in my class. Do you know what Zarzuela is?
I don't know.
Sit down. Right, everyone, Zarzuela, or if you want to be Spanish, spell it Zarzuela with a Z, is a form of theatrical performance. It is a musical performance, in particular. It is often associated with song, and Filipino song called, do you know what it's called? Who remembers it? The kundiman. You know when people like sing like it's operatic, but it's very Filipino, without the higher notes. Zarzuela depicts, the concept of Zarzuela is like, just like what I said, it is a musical. And the stories that are presented in the Zarzuela is mostly social, economic, political situations that is mushed up together in a love story. So it's always a love story. And no, not always, but most of the time it is a love story. The purpose of Zarzuela, aside from entertainment, is also to showcase the Filipino life. It's very intense. It's much more deeper. You know, the depth of it is much more deeper than the regular show, the vaudeville and all that, because it has this message in it that is a little bit of revolutionary. Okay? Example of that is walang sugat. You know, Zarzuela was at its prime, especially during the time of the crossover of the American regime, and you know, in between the Spanish and American regime, and the Filipinos didn't like it that we had Americans there, because Americans were like dictating us. We were not allowed to sing bayan ko and all. Walang sugat is a story that it's a story about a woman, Filipina, who was forced to marry someone because that guy claims to be dying. Okay? So, what do you see in that? You know, the oppression, this kind of luring towards, you know, the pity, and all. Because we as Filipinos go to that. One example of Zarzuela work that is iconic is Walang Sugat. You know, it tells the story of this woman, Filipina, typical Filipina. What is typical Filipina? The stereotype of typical Filipina is Maria Clara, right? So, you know what they say, yung puso is busilak and it's always very mahina. You know, they always depict that. And there's this man who likes her so much, who wants to marry her, even if the woman doesn't love her, and he pretends that he's dying. He claimed that he was dying so that he could force this woman into marrying him and trick her. What does that say? What is the revolutionary part of that? What does it say about the society that the Philippines had during that time of the Zarzuela? The man can represent as the Americans, yes? Well, the history of Zarzuela and Zarzuela in itself can be summed up with in one name. Honorata Atang de la Rama, the superstar and the original first superstar of the Philippines. She performed as many shows using the Zarzuela and was also very active in the revolution during the American times. And Atang has had, that mark. Her performances were excellent. She sang this song, Nabasag ang banga at nabasag talaga ang banga. Yes, that's true. And because in Zarzuela you are meant to perform, you are meant to dramatize, you're meant to get out of yourself, and while singing, you have to get that point across to the audience through your song. You can sum up the history of Zarzuela
Just a small town girl living in a lonely world. She took the midnight train